Hi, first grade. Miss Alvarez is here. This week in social studies, we're going to be talking about a lot of important people that helped change our world. Today, we're going to be starting off with this man named Albert Einstein, who was an inventor and a scientist who discovered different scientific ideas that helped us discover more things about space that we didn't know before we had him as an inventor. So he's really, really important for us now because without him, we wouldn't have been able to navigate through space, go to Mars, do anything like that because he was the one who came up with the equations that helped other scientists expand their knowledge about space. So we're gonna watch this video by Homeschool Pop about Albert Einstein, and you guys are going to do a little writing at the end of this. So stay tuned.
If you think about brains and being smart, you probably think of Albert Einstein. We are going to investigate the life of Albert Einstein to see how he became one of the most famous scientists in the history of our world. Albert Einstein was born in Germany in 1879. His parents had no idea their son Albert would change the way we look at the universe. He didn't speak until he was 4 years old, later than most children. Even after he started speaking, he would practice the sentences in his mind to make sure he got them right. But one thing that did come quickly and naturally to him was math. He was a math whiz. He began teaching himself high-level math, impressing his family tutor. He was also fascinated with physics, a type of science that deals with matter and energy. Physics and math would be his obsession throughout his life. He went on to enroll in a mathematics and physics program to get his teaching diploma. He wanted to be a teacher, sharing his love for math and physics with all of the wonderful students he could. But after graduating, he couldn't find a teaching job and instead worked in a patent office. While working in the patent office, he still lived out his passion, writing papers and making discoveries that he would publish. He finally became noticed in the scientific world, releasing some incredible papers that changed the way we understood our world, space, and time. He became a professor, was a sought-after speaker, and became famous around the world. He would go on to win a Nobel Peace Prize, one of the most special awards anyone can receive. And he traveled to many countries, sharing not only his knowledge of physics and math, but his heart about other subjects too. Albert Einstein was brilliant, using math and physics to help us better understand our universe. Now things are going to get interesting, okay? We are going to show you two discoveries made by Albert Einstein. We are going to make it so fun and simple, even Mr. Whiskers could understand it. Just stare blankly into space if you agree, Mr. Whiskers. Mr. Whiskers? He always does that. One of Albert Einstein's biggest discoveries was this equation. You might have heard of it. E equals mc squared. The E stands for energy, the M stands for mass, and the C stands for the speed of light. It means an object has the same amount of energy as it has mass, and that energy can move at the speed of light, super fast. So, Mr. Whiskers, you have the same amount of energy as you have mass, and that energy can move at the speed of light, which you're just lying around. Go use your energy, okay? You have the same amount of energy as you do mass. Go play. It means if you know the mass of an object, you know the energy, right? It is the same amount. So, if anyone ever says E equals mc squared, just say to them, I know what that is about. It's about energy and mass. Then give them a high five and say homeschool pop 3 times. They might run away, though. Another discovery made by Albert Einstein is the theory of general relativity. We are going to make it super simple for you, Mr. Whiskers, okay? And for the kids. General relativity explains how gravity works. Large objects, like the Earth, bend space. The space pressing down on us is gravity. In our solar system, the sun causes the stretchy space to curve, causing the Earth to rotate around the sun. Just like space can be curvy, so can time. Time and space are relative, Mr. Whiskers. They depend on things like the mass of objects around it. Time and space are bendy, and bendy space is how gravity really works. E equals mc squared is all about energy and mass, and general relativity explains how gravity works. Whew. Physics and math. Thanks, Einstein. Thank you. Thank you. Now you know a little more about Albert Einstein's life and two of his discoveries. How crazy would it be if you shared this knowledge with a friend? They would be like, what? How do you even know that? How do you even know that?
So we learned a couple of things about Albert Einstein. We learned that he came up with this very strange equation that allowed us to learn a lot more about energy and mass, things that are very scientific. And he also taught us about gravity, which is basically how we stay on the ground without floating like we would in space. So, who in the world is Albert Einstein? Well, as you know, he is a or was a brilliant scientist who helped change our world in many different ways. Um, and he's the reason why we are able to discover even more about space and energy, and we're continuously still trying to learn about space and energy. And when those of you who want to become scientists and mathematicians um, start learning more about him and his ideas, you might be just like him. So in your notebooks, what you're going to do is you're going to think of an invention that would make your life easier. What would your invention be? What would it do? How would it help you? Okay, so those are your three questions that you're going to answer. And then I want you to actually draw a picture of it because I think it would be really cool to see what this invention of yours would look like, especially since we are all in our own way inventors and scientists and mathematicians. So I want you guys to really get creative with this, okay? And tomorrow we'll be learning about somebody new. Until then, bye guys.